Hello, good afternoon. This is Diecast Looney. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the first and probably only episode of Vintage Corgi Mondays special edition, as it says in the title. Usually, as you all know, I do a Vintage Matchbox Mondays, and I think it would have been episode 22, possibly. I can't remember now. But I thought about doing something with Corgi just for a change, just for, like I said, just this 1 week. As I don't have lots of Corgi pieces. I've probably got about 30 or 40 Corgi pieces in my collection altogether, and a lot of them are put away. But I've got a handful out today to show. As I said, there's a bit of a change. We'll go back to Vintage Matchbox Mondays episodes next week, so don't worry. I'm not finished with the Matchbox by any means. But the reason I thought about doing an episode on Corgi today is because of I've had a few people ask me, do I do Corgis? Have I got Corgis in my collection? Corgi cars, that is. And I think it was David Beeson commented on one of my videos, my challenge video from yesterday, saying that it'd be good to do an all Corgi videos to show all Corgis. So I thought, why not? So that is what we're doing. That is what we're going to be looking at, is some Corgi pieces. So we have got one in the background, and I don't know lots about Corgi. I know they were founded by a company called Metoy in 1933 in Northampton, by a German man, but I've forgotten the man's name, to be honest. And I know that he teamed up with Hornby, and I think it was ended up going to Swansea. I think about 1956. Was when they actually started making toy cars, because I think Metoy itself, in the 1930s, they made metal toys, as far as I'm aware of, but they didn't actually make cars, or at least I don't think so. But I do know that they did move to Swansea in 1956 and were manufacturing in Swansea, Wales, for about 27 years before they went into liquidation themselves. And obviously, I'm not sure who has it now, to be perfectly honest. Like I said, I don't know masses about Corgi, but I know they turned out some really cool cars. Like I said, from about 1956 onwards, for about the next 27 years after that. So that's what the little bit about Corgi that I know. Like I said, I don't know masses about them. Matchbox is my main thing, and but anyway, like I said, we will take a look at what I've got. All these cars have been shown before at some point, some recent-ishly and some not so recently, but nonetheless, there is some cool pieces. I've got one large piece I'm going to show at the end, but anyway, we'll get into it. So I think this is one of the first pieces that started me off picking up the odd Corgi, and this is obviously Kojak's car. As you can see, it says Kojak's Buick, from the Kojak American TV series, and I think this actual piece is from the late 70s. I think this actual particular model was made in about 78 ish, I think, but the box is in really nice condition, as you can see. So it just says Corgi Juniors, whiz wheels, and so yeah. And like I said, I paid about £12 for this about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember now. But the car is in reasonably near mint condition. It's got some paint loss here and there, but it's never been played with. You can see it's in really nice condition. So there you go. Corgi Juniors, Buick Regal, made in Great Britain. That's something you don't see very much anymore. Made in Great Britain. And like I said, the guy that I bought this off said he had it since he was a youngster, and it's been in and out of the box over the years, but it's never been played with. It was displayed for a while, then put back in the box. And like I said, some of the Corgi Junior cars back in the day weren't, in my opinion, made as well as Matchbox. And that's not to say that Corgis are no good or anything. I'm just saying they weren't. They did do some Corgi Juniors with nice metal heavy castings, and then they did some that were like this with the plastic, but like I said, I can't tell you why, because I'm not an expert on Corgi, but their paintwork always seemed to be a little bit thinner. But nonetheless, it is a cool piece. I remember watching the reruns of Kojak when I was younger, and I do like this particular casting. So that is the first piece. We'll just pop that back in its box for a second. Put it to one side. Then staying with that theme, which I've been a bit lazy, I haven't actually opened the bag up because I keep my cars that I've not got on display in these little polythene bags, and then they're packed away into boxes, plastic crates. So this is another car from the same era, and it's about the same age, and you would have had police stickers on it at one point. As you can see, it is another Buick Regal, and it would have been a police model. But again, apart from the few stickers that are missing, it is in nice condition. It says exactly the same thing. Again, from the same sort of age, and it rolls well. They did have sort of suspension. But so that is a police version. And again, I didn't pay a lot for that. Possibly £1, something like that. I can't remember now. And again, I've got another one in a baggie, which I've again forgot to remove because I didn't really prepare for this video. I just sort of threw it together. Where did I put that bag to? And again, it's another Buick Regal from the same sort of time period, but it is a taxi. As you can tell, it says taxi. But pretty cool. And I do like this casting. I like the Buick Regals. I do like them, and I like the way that some have lights on the back, some don't. The Kojak car had lights on the back. This one has white on the back. This one has lights on the back, painted in. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. I needed to blow my nose. I've got a bit of a cold. But anyway, so that is the taxi version. So they're all the same car. Obviously this one's back in its box now. So pretty cool. And again, weren't much. Now again, I will pull out another one from its little baggie. So just bear with me. And this one is a slightly different, again, similar sort of age. And it is the Mercedes-Benz 240D. And again, this is from about the late 70s, early 80s, this particular one. But this is in really nice condition. And again, this is from a place I quite often go to after work. That's where I got the other two, and that's where I got this one from. The first one was from a private seller, but these last couple were from the market I go to on a Saturday, and he has a £2 selection there where the cars aren't beaten to death, but they might have an odd chip on them. But I got this for £2, and it is in very nice condition. So as you can see, it is a Mercedes taxi, and I just like the way you can see the way they've done the taxi sign. It is the windows are part of the sign, and then they've got like a random piece of plastic that says taxi on it, and it's sort of wedged in the back of the car. And it even says taxi. If you look, you can see it says taxi. So you know on the other end. So basically, it's like a piece of plastic stick with taxi on both ends. That's the craftsmanship where they just sort of threw it together, but doesn't matter. Like I said, they are still cool cars. And like I said, these, and it's just my opinion, but anybody that knows Corgi well knows that this particular sort, they weren't as strong as Matchbox. You know, they couldn't, because obviously the wheels would go quite easily because these would snap and then the wheels would push up. I know as a young kid playing with these, if you pushed a little bit too hard, these would either give out and then you had no you know, it wouldn't roll very nice. But as you can see, this one has had an easy life and has survived. Has a tow hitch, but I do like that taxi, so that's pretty cool. So right, what else we got here? We got this awesome little Fiat X19. Is it? Yeah, X19 in green. Again, I didn't pay a lot for this. I think it's about £1. And this again came from another market stall, if I remember rightly. Again, it has got the odd little bit missing here and there, but it looks like it's been played with, but it must have been loved, as it is not dead. And like I said, it still rolls, which is a good test with these cars, if they still roll. And there is the little engine. So that's very cool. So that's the Fiat X19. Just bear with me while I try and unbag some of the other cars. Right. Here is a Citron. And this one still has a price tag on it. I think I must have paid. I didn't pay £3.50 this. I think I only paid about £2 for this. This was a car boot find. And again, it's a bit battered, this one. It's got a bit more paint chipping, but again, it's still. I haven't even taken this off. That's how lazy I am. I've literally just bought it and it's been packed away. But I got this particular piece because I used to have it as a kid. I used to have the exact same one as a kid. So it's based on a Citron. I think it's the Diane. Let's have a little look. Yeah, Citron Diane. So again, it's exactly the same as the Citron 2CV. I can't remember if this is older or newer. I think this is possibly older than the normal. But again, it's just that slightly different shape to the normal sort of snail-shaped Citron. So pretty cool. And then we'll grab another one. So we'll unpack this a minute. And again, I'd shown this fairly recently, and now I'll show you the difference. Now this one is a lot heavier, really substantially weighty compared. Obviously you lot can't feel the weight difference, but it really is, as it's the same. Now this is from the 80s, and obviously it's another, so you can see it's Corgi. Doesn't say Juniors this time, but it will be just a slightly newer edition, but it has a very thick, you can see how thick the metal base is. I don't think this has any suspension, but again, rolls really well. This would give any Hot Wheels a race down the track because it rolls so well, and it is so heavy and so well made, or casted very well, should I say. Very basic casting, but just very heavy. And it is obviously a Rover SD1 police car. And again, in very nice condition. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, I have shown that fairly recently. And then I've got another one here, which I know I showed not all that long ago, but I will just quickly pull it out of the box. And it is exactly the same car. Another Rover SD1 or SDI, I think he's going to come up with his I always call them Rover SD1s. There you go, Rover 3500. So this would be the V8 version, but exactly the same casting from exactly the same sort of time period, maybe a little bit earlier, not a lot though. And this one has a plastic base. So, but again, in really nice condition, and I do quite like this one. And again, rolls really well, and I was the first person to open this up pretty much. Little chip there, but it doesn't matter, you can allow it for its age. So that's pretty cool as well. And then this is a particular favourite of mine, and it is the Renault 5 Turbo. And when I got this one a month or so back, or a couple of months now, I can't remember exactly when I got this, but like I said, I have shown this before. But this apparently is quite a rare variation. Most of them had a red interior with a red base, or red, side trims there. But this one apparently is a rare variation, which doesn't matter to me because I just collect what I like. I don't collect for rarity particularly or monetary gain, but I just thought it was cool. But it just turned out it was an unusually rare version. So pretty cool. So that's the Renault 5, and again in really nice condition. And another particular one that I'm glad I came across, which is this Range Rover. And again, this has been shown fairly recently, but in really quite nice condition. So it's obviously like a open top Range Rover, and quite an unusual car, or quite an unusual car in real life, to be honest. But again, in really nice condition. So that is pretty cool. And I'm just looking to see what other pieces I bought out. I think now, this one you'll have to bear with me. I bought this from Car Boot Sale last year. It's a Mack truck. It's obviously you can see it's a low loader. It would have had a tank sat on the back, which I don't unfortunately have. These are quite rare from what I found out. I've had quite a few people offer to buy this off me because apparently these things are always missing the rear part here, which will come off. Well, it usually just falls off. There you go. And then obviously you can have it so the tank would drive, or you can put anything up the back basically onto the back. But these are usually always missing, and I've had a couple of friends of mine try and get this off me just because they've got the whole thing but they haven't got the rear wheels or what have you. But I just really like this, as I quite like American trucks. I like American Mack trucks, and apparently this is from about 1972 I believe, but I can't remember now. And obviously that little button, it flips forward the engine, flips forward the bonnet to reveal what would. Now I think these had their own engine. I think these were a Mack engine in these as well, but again in really nice condition. We've got the big, that's not going to shut down, is it? So a little play with that. There we go, that's better. It's got this huge front, and the little chrome lights still are being reflective by the looks of it. Or is it just a bit of green? No, it's a bit of green. I thought it was reflective. But that's that. I'm just looking if I've got any more I've pulled out. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Right, I've got one more to show, and it is my favourite, probably my favourite Corgi in my collection. So we'll just move this out of the way, and I will show this. So it is the Monkeys Mobile, and I've got the box to this, and it's this. Now this isn't the original one they made. I can't remember exactly when they made the original one of these. I suppose in the mid-70s. I suppose the original one of these came out. But this is a repo of the original, still made by Corgi, as you can see. So it is a real Monkeys Mobile, isn't it? So it's not the first release, is what I'm trying to say. And I do have the box now, but this itself is still 20-year-old. My mate who has a die-cast shop, he sells mainly 1/43 scale and large scale 1/18 scale. Doesn't sell any 1/64 scale, unfortunately. But he had this sat in his window, and the box was bleached on one side, but the casting luckily is, as you can see, in fantastic condition. And again, I think I paid £10 for it, but really, really weighty piece. As you can tell, it is a custom of the Pontiac GTO, but I just really like this piece. Awesome. I really do like my custom cars. I've also got a few others. I've got a Mr. Bean Mini as well, but I will probably show that again as the video is getting on for 18 minutes. But anyway, with that, I hope you've all enjoyed the difference this week. As I said, I will go back to Vintage Matchbox Mondays next week. Maybe I will do another one of these again in the future if this one, people like this. Like I said, I have got quite a few more Corgis to show. I've got some more I can show, should I say. I haven't showed them all. I've kept some in reserve, so to speak, for next time. So like I said, if this turns out to be popular, I may do it again. But anyway, with that, please like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more Vintage Matchbox Mondays episode, vintage pieces in general, wheel swaps, customs, and all that good stuff to come. And with that, I'll see you all very soon. Thank you. I'm back very briefly. You know what I'm like, but I couldn't resist showing these two pieces I got from car boot sale in the summertime. Just wanted to show the difference in some of the. So these are much more heavier, much more substantially weighted, but these are Corgis with the metal bases. And again, these are from, I would say, about the early 80s, but it is a Mercedes gull wing, and as you can see, it opens up quite nice. But that's a pretty cool piece, and again, quite weighty. So they didn't always come with plastic bases. And this little Ford Thunderbird, again, a little bit play worn. There you go, metal base and a little button, and it would push this bonnet up, which I can't get. There we go. Yes, I can, to reveal the V8 engine. But anyway, I just quickly thought I'd show them at the end, as I always like to. I always do this. I want to show something and I forget, and then when I turn the video off, I go, oh yes, that's right. But anyway, with that, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.